Unit 4, Learning Target number 3. Simplify absolute values of numbers and plot them on a number line. So, we're talking about absolute values. Now, when we're talking about absolute values, the most important thing to remember is the definition of the absolute value. And that is, the definition of absolute value is the distance of a number from 0. The absolute value of a number is its distance from 0. So let me illustrate that for you. Here we have the number 4. What is the absolute value of 4? And this is absolute value notation. We put these little lines beside it. So what is the absolute value of 4? Well, the absolute value of 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 4 spaces away from 0. It is 4 whole number spaces away from 0. Similarly, the absolute value of negative 4 is going to be, we'll use different colors, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the absolute value of 4 is 4, and the absolute value of negative 4 is also 4. That is what's going to get us through the rest of this lesson. Reviewing what we just learned, this symbol right here means absolute value. You'll also see them written as this, just simply 2 lines. So this symbol means absolute value. So what is the absolute value of negative 2? Well, we remember that it is the distance from 0. So how far away is negative 2 from 0 on a number line? It is 2 spaces. So the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. What is the absolute value of 42? Well, we can't count all the way, but we know that 2 is 2 spaces from 0, and 4 is 4 spaces from 0. So we know that 42 will be 42 spaces from 0, and the absolute value of 42 will be simply 42. Now, one complication that we can look at is sometimes we'll see some examples where the negative sign is on the outside. What do we do in those cases? Well, let's take a quick look at an example where we do exactly that. So let me get rid of this. Negative absolute value of 7. So we find the absolute value of 7 first. What is the absolute value of 7? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the absolute value of 7 is 7. So we bring down our 7, and then the negative sign is on the outside, so we just drop that down. So in this case, we have the negative, or the opposite of, the absolute value of 7. Well, when the absolute value of 7 is 7, the opposite of 7 is negative 7, and that's our answer. Another example, we have the negative of negative 5 absolute value. The absolute value of negative 5 is what? We do what's inside this group first, just like we do with parentheses. What is the absolute value of negative 5? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. And then we bring down our negative, because that's on the outside, and we get negative 5. So our answer is negative 5. Now let's look at doing operations with absolute values. Anytime we're doing operations with absolute values, we kind of have to pretend that these are parentheses. We remember with PEMDAS, parenthesis comes at the very first. So we're going to think of these as kind of like parentheses. So we'll do the parentheses first. What's inside of here? Well, we're looking for the absolute value of 5. The absolute value of 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And we'll add our little addition sign back in, and then we do the parentheses here. What is the absolute value of negative 2? Count from 0, and we get 2 spaces. So the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Then we add those together, and we get 7. So the answer to this operation is 7. Let's try another one. Example number 2. What is the absolute value of negative 8? That is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we have to pretend there's an 8 here. Positive. So the absolute value is 8. We'll bring that down. Then we bring down our negative because it's not in an absolute value sign. And then we find the absolute value of negative 3. What's the absolute value of negative 3? How far is it from 0? Well, it's 1, 2, 3 spaces from 0. 8 minus 3. And we simplify that or solve that, and we get 5. We evaluate that to get 5. Now let's take a look at a couple of quick word problems. Sperm whales can dive up to 4,500 meters. Express this as an absolute value. So here's our whale, and he can go up to 4,500 meters down. If you think about that, he's on a number line. He's going 4,500 meters down. Now that is actually a negative number, isn't it? When we're going down, if sea level is 0 and we're going down 4,500 meters, that's a negative number. But we want to express that as an absolute value because he's just going 4,500 meters. He's not traveling negative 4,500 meters because you can't go negative space. He's going 4,500 meters. So writing this as an absolute value is just like that. Negative 4,500 written in absolute value signs. So one more time, negative 4,500 written in absolute value signs. Or if you like them, you can draw them like that. Our second problem says the temperature drops from 72 degrees to 35 degrees. So let's say we start at 72 degrees and we go to 35. That's quite a drop. It does this one autumn afternoon. Now express this change as an absolute value. Is our temperature going up or down? Well, we've been told that it's dropping, and we can see 72 to 35 is going down. So we know that is a negative number. That is negative 37 degrees that it drops. But we want to express this as an absolute value. So we're going to write that in absolute value symbols. Or again, if you like, you put these on the outside.